Hello and welcome back to the concluding part of our farewell interview with Anne-Sophie Ave. And in this episode, we're going to talk about all the fun things that she's been known for. So, are you typically a fun-loving person?
A
Loving person?
I'm typically French, I think. And the French, we love partying, we love music, we love theater, we love cinema, we love culture, we love history, we love sightseeing. We are very much sociable people. So I think I'm typically French.
Great. And I remember asking you this question because with my relationship with the embassy, I realized that in the past, France has been very visible in Ghana through also the cultural attache, but now we don't see much presence with that. I remember you gave an explanation to me off camera. I would want you to also go a bit into that as well.
It was another century probably, because I can't remember when the cultural attaché was visible. But normally everything is under the ambassador's command. So the one whose head should stick out and who should take the blow if necessary is the ambassador. The people who are working in the embassy, they are very much behind the scenes, and they are dealing with attributing grants and everything. So I need to protect them so they do not get bullied or influenced in any way. But I think it was my role to represent the country and to be the face of the embassy, really. I need to protect the people in the consulate as well, because people would take against them the issues of visas and everything, but they're doing their job very seriously. And so, and it's not always on them to grant or deny the visa. So, yeah, I tend to protect my team.
And how important has social media been in that role?
In a country where social media are so developed as Ghana, I think it was one of the media. I mean, it would have been, it was important to be on the media where people are. So television was definitely a way of entering people's homes. But if you want to address the people who are the future of this country, namely the youth, you need to address social media. And the good thing about Instagram, for instance, is that you know who you are talking to. You've got figures that tell you where they are from, which country, which city, how old they are, if they are male or female. And you can tell if you are targeting the right audience or not. When you are on TV, you can only hope that, considering the time you're airing, you're targeting the right audience. But the ones I really wanted to address was the youth. Of course, I'm happy that older people are listening, but the ones you really need to reach out are the youth. And these are not always listening to, watching TV, radio, but they are on social media. And social media is also a way of interacting. And what was frustrating on TV is that you cannot really interact with the people with the viewers, apart from the quiz where people were texting and everything, and then I got to meet the winners. That's why I wanted the TV show to be an interview. On social media, you interact with people. You can answer the questions. They can DM you. They can, and I thought that is a unique way of interacting with much more people than you would if you go to university, which I also do. Talk to people in university, or when I do a meet and connect and talk to people also from all backgrounds. Every occasion is great, but having a one-to-one interaction with people was important to me. It's people-to-people diplomacy.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you took it up, because I was going to ask you that also, of course, you took the interactions beyond social media. You were seen at the markets and getting closer to the people. How important was you to get that sense of the people on the street?
In a democracy, the people are those who vote the leaders. So talking to the leaders is great, but if you want to understand the motivations of the people who voted them, the aspirations of the people who are run by them, who are going to vote them back or out, you need to be close to the public opinion. You need to listen to the people. You need to understand and get a feel of what the country is, let alone you cannot pretend you know a country unless you really go on the ground and look how the people live, understand what their culture is, what they like, what they like to eat, if they like to get together, what do they like to get together for, what do they share. It has to be different from a European country. It's a different culture. So if you come and think, oh, they must be just the same as us, then you miss the point. So going to the market, going to the fish market and seeing that basically it's mainly women there. But this is a specificity. It tells you that women are the pillar of the economy. They are the ones who are running the businesses. And that's very different from what is. If you go to a market in France, you will have mainly men, and sometimes some shops are dealt by a couple. And the lady is at the cashier, and the man is doing, the promotion, buy this, and everything. So through this, you see a very different culture. Then when you go to Jamestown, when you go to the villages, you see the children very well behaved. Well, you actually don't see much of them, because you see they are at school or they are playing. They are not left idle, and they are not bothering, and they are not interrupting the grown-ups while the grown-ups are talking. And this gives also a flavor of how children are raised, how well behaved they are, how respectful they are of the grown-ups. When you go to Europe, if you have kids, they will be shouting, running, and you can't say anything if they are badly behaved, because you're not the parent. So all this culture gives you a sense of what the extended family means in this country, what the sense of community is, and you can just not describe it or write it down. And when I do the transmission to my successor, tell him, oh, here in Ghana, here's how it works. No, you need to go and feel it. You need to go and understand.
So when you interact with people and you get their opinions, how do you sort of put together the data you collect in your relationship with Ghana?
It's more of an impression. It's more of a general impression. I'm not an intelligence officer, I'm not a spy, and I'm just gathering a global impression. Sometimes the barrier of language is complicated, but you can connect in a different way by observing, by asking them if they can teach you what they're doing. And for a minute you are trying to be in their skin, and you get a feel of what it must be like to be standing in the sun, doing this, selling that. It's more of a general feeling, the thing that you can only get if you grew up here. That's what I'm trying to catch up with. It's not about gathering information, not so much.
Great. And one other field you are very strong in would be the entertainment and arts space. Was this deliberate in any way?
Nope. It was. It just happened. It built up slowly. It happened because some French artists wanted to do some videos here, music videos, and when they came, I said, but why don't you do featurings with Ghanaian artists? Because that would be a way of pushing you here, pushing them out there. And so let's try. And I didn't expect that to be such a big thing, such a big success. And I didn't realize that Ghanaian artists had hardly ever been displayed in France. And I had discovered the Ghanaian music, what you call Ghanaian music, what I like to call international standard music made in Ghana. And I thought, well, why don't we listen to that in France? And when I was going back to France with my playlist, it was catching. So I said, we really need to push that in France. And it worked beyond what I would have thought. But it's actually, the creativity of these artists. I mean, I didn't write the songs. I just pushed them, made it possible for them to go to France and go in studio, and vice versa. And then, of course, there's a bit of behind-the-scene work to make the two concerts happen. But I very quickly realized that there was something there, because music is something that crosses the borders without visa. There's no such thing as language barrier. The French listen to American music. They don't understand the lyrics, but they still listen to it. So it was important that the Ghanaian artists stopped shying away and thinking, yeah, but you know, people, they won't understand, and say, yeah, well, you know, you sing in Twi or in Ewe, so everywhere in the world you will have that excuse, and yet your music is appreciated and loved everywhere, and talent goes beyond words and everything. So I sensed very quickly that there was something there that could build a bridge between the French and Ghanaians.
So, I mean, you're living with a lot of legacy in the media, pop culture space in Ghana, i.e. Touch of France, Paris in Accra, Accra in Paris. Leaving Ghana, this legacy, how do you want it to travel?
I hope that, and when I saw the artists this summer, everywhere, they are bringing Ghana to the world. They performed everywhere, in Europe, in the US, in the UK, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. And I'm glad that I took my little part in it by putting them in France. And then some of them have also performed in France again. And it makes me so proud, because the world deserves to listen to these musics. So I really hope that they will carry on going out there. I also hope that the project that I have initiated to structure the music industry here by implementing and helping GAMRO and publishers to settle here so that artists can actually live on the royalties and the authors' rights, I hope that will carry on as a legacy that I initiated. But beyond the arts and music, that was visible. But beyond that, we've done a lot in the area of heritage, refurbishing some mosques, Lara Bonga Mosque, Ashanti buildings, and doing signage in Cape Coast and Mina Castle in most UNESCO-listed sites. And I really, there's another project that I have launched and I hope will carry on, will be to help Ghana to realize how rich your heritage is and how worthy it is for tourists, and develop tourism with all that goes with it, all the business and economy that goes around it. So yeah, I hope that people will be proud of their heritage and they have realized that they have amazing sites. And the communities who have installed me or skinned me were communities where we have done things in this area of heritage, and they are very poor communities. And that's why I've put together a fund to carry on supporting these communities who have that either museums or archaeological sites, and be able to eventually, you know, find ways and means to promote what they have and become attractive to tourists.
Let's talk about the Akosua Fund.
Yes.
How it runs and how you hope how it will run when you are going. Give us an idea.
So I wanted to put a fund together like 6 months ago. I said, I can't just go. I can't turn my back to a country that has done so much for me and that I have loved so much. And I was looking at creating an association, but then you need a board, you need an accountant, you need everything. So I've looked at an association that already existed, that is called O Africa, that's been operating for 20 years.
Yes,
Yes, and they have experience and they know how to handle projects, how to make sure every penny is used properly for the right purpose. And so they host my fund, which is what we call a donor-advised fund. So it's lodged in the association, but separated, is a separate account, and everything is dedicated to my fund. But at least I benefit their experience, their accountants, their auditor, their expertise as project managers. So that was quite a relief, because I thought, okay, so every penny we're going to put in the fund, I know it's going to be used for the right purpose. And whatever projects we're going to do, they will follow up, they will make sure that it benefits who it should benefit.
Great. And now our farewells. I mean, being here...
I don't want to go.
I know.
I don't want to say goodbye.
But with all these years of living here, interacting with the people, and now that you're going, if you had one message to the president, what would that be? From the people, from your stay?
I would just say what I actually told him. Ghana has resources indeed, but the most precious resource is the people. The dynamism, the enthusiasm, the resilience, the intelligence, the creativity, the kindness, the sense of togetherness of the people. And it's even more precious than the gold you have in your soil, than the bauxite or any kind of natural resource, because it's a resource that is capable of transforming by itself and transforming the country. So I believe that the future of this country is the youth of this country. And I usually tell them, this is your world, shape it, or someone else with. And don't expect things to come from politicians. It's a democracy. So you vote these politicians, and you can also inspire and ask and say what you think should be good for the country, because the country is you. I think that's very truly the best resource of this country is the people, and the people have to understand that they are a resource, and that the future of this country is in their hands.
I was going to ask you for your specific farewell message to the people, but I think you've embedded it in that. So what would be your message also to the one coming in to take over? To
my successor. Oh, I envy him terribly, because he's going to have the best years and an amazing time. I hope I'm leaving an embassy in order. And I'm sure he will address the diplomacy just in his own way. But we share the same philosophy of what is our guidance is respect and humility. And I think that is really making a huge difference when you respect and when you are humble as a guest in a country. You learn so much more, and you can do so much more than if you arrive and think you know, and then you miss the point. So I think he is incredibly lucky. But I would also give a message to the Ghanaians, because they have made my stay amazing. They have given me so much love and support, and given a meaning to my work. Every day I knew who I was working for and what I was doing here. And I cannot just leave, therefore my fund is here, but I will also come back without the burden of being an ambassador. So being a regular brony, private tourist, and also the owner of a house, of a property here, and a resident, an often resident. I don't know if there's such a thing as an often resident, an often visitor. I'll have a loyalty card to come and score points. But I have a property here, so I keep coming back. And more than everything, I have many, many friends. And we've been friends for those years, in good times and tough times. And I know we'll be friends for a very long time.
Fantastic. We wish you all the very best in your future endeavors, and we thank you on behalf of Ghanaians. We thank you for the love you've shown them, and even for me. I mean, like you said from the beginning, it started with me sending a message on Twitter, on Instagram, and then we've become very good. She's the first ambassador ever that I have a WhatsApp number that I can actually speak with. So I'm speaking from a very personal experience that I've had with her. And
you never bothered me for a visa, which I'm very grateful for.
No, I'm going to bother her offline. So
no, you can't. I don't do visas. I will
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for all your support, Ameyaw.
So catch us same time, another time, as we say bye-bye to our French ambassador, and hopefully another time we welcome in a new one. Bye-bye.